respond on the court, how you respond to being down 3 or 4 in the last minute, how you respond to a bad game, how you respond to 0 points, how you respond to somebody getting the best of you, how you respond to getting 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game because you're on the road and you're the best player and they're trying to get you out. How do you stay locked into that?
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. If you're looking to start a pro life and you want to play the game overseas, well, this is the place for you to be. Why? Because you got to get your mind right and you got to get your mind ready for the grueling life of overseas basketball. It's not all bad. It's not all what you thought it would be, but there is a certain level of mental fortitude that you must have if you're looking to make this your career. If this is your first time to the show, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe and share it with a hooper out there that's one day wanting to play the game professionally overseas. So I'm just glad to have you guys on, whoever tuning in, whoever listening, because I want to touch on a lot of things today. I have a lot of interactions with young basketball players. I mean, that's pretty much my lane of expertise. Is I'm basically giving you guys everything that I've been through within my 10 years of playing, and I try to come back and just relay the message for you. Are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. And I have a couple of mentees that I am currently showing them the ropes, trying to help them out, just being the mentor. This is what I'm here for, is to be that one voice that no one was there for you, so you can actively speak and talk to. You guys ever want to write me, you can write me on my Instagram, YouTube, wherever. I'm on all platforms. You can write me anywhere, and I'll do my best to answer the questions. And one of the main things that I get a lot with younger guys, they just want to play the game so bad that they will disregard all of the work and all the things that you must do ahead of time or before to ensure that you can play the game for a long time. I say that to say this because I've recently spoken with one of my younger mentees, and it just kind of brings into the realization once more of how unprepared the mind is for the road ahead. Because many athletes, especially the younger athletes, have this sense of urgency to get to a certain place without putting in the preparation first. You can't ignore the preparation before the arrival of where you are trying to be, or to where you're trying to arrive in this game, in this career choice. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's all the highlights that you see and all that gets most players' head, thinking that this is just easy. This is just, I could just wake up and go and play because I played with a guy in the gym and he played basketball, and I know I can just jump up and I can just play basketball too, and just like that, I'm a pro, and it's that easy. let's break that down for a second, shall we? Like, let's just break down the type of work that is needed to be able to play this game. I believe there's like 335 Division 1 schools, D1 schools. Let's just say 3 seniors on average graduate per year. What is that? Almost nearly 1,000. That's Division 1 schools. Then you got D2. Then you got D3. Then you got JUCO. So times that by another 3. So let's just say about 3,000 athletes leave school per year. Seniors possibly looking for a basketball opportunity overseas. That's each year. The average team only has 1 player to 2 players on their team. And we're not even talking about all of the players that return, because most leagues, once a player plays that once and they're decent enough, they're going to recycle the player. That goes for every country. They're going to recycle the players. They're going to recycle the guys that's already been in the league. Why? Because they have experience in the league. They have a little bit of experience to the customs. And it's just easier to work with someone that's been in that position other than bringing in a new player that they don't know, especially as a rookie. And I just trying to understand the lane of why it's such a rush and ignore the preparation that it takes to get to this level, especially for the guys who are not even take their lumps and bumps by going through a whole college season. I said last time in the last episode, I did 5 years in college, didn't play my first year out of college before I got my first professional job. I actually touched overseas on the court. Took me from high school to when I left, it took me 6 years. That's 6 years of preparation just to get my first job. And we have a bunch of 18-year-old, 19-year-olds ready to start their professional life and don't even know what it takes. See, the difference between when guys start their pro life like in America and these super talented guys that have people that go maybe to straight from the NBA, high school straight to the NBA, they have people around them. You have the money and the resources for this type of lifestyle. Once you're starting to venture out into the professional life overseas, there is no hand holding. There is no one to tell you to make this direction, do this, do that. This is the way you need, because you're pretty much on your own at all times. You're on your own. They're telling you what you should, like, you have to figure out what you're going to do on your own. You are your trainer, you're your psychologist, your handmaid. You have to take on so many different more hats than you would normally do compared to someone in America or whatever country, even your own country, because you already have a home base of people that can at least offer you some kind of help. And I just don't understand why younger guys are so in a rush to get to this life when you're not fully prepared for this life mentally. I have a guy on my team, a young guy, seemed very eager to learn. He's nice size, nice height, and compared to other countries or compared to the other players in this country, he has an advantage. Why? Because this country has a lot of small players, a lot of guards, a lot of small players. So he's a big. He was like, I was a guard, then I got a growth spurt. Now I'm playing the big. Now I just don't know which direction I should be going when it comes to playing. Should I play like this? Should I play like that? And it's like, it's such a disconnect in just the preparation of getting yourself ready. Because here's a guy who has a lot of opportunity, but he doesn't have the mentality. He said, I used to be a guard, then I got a growth spurt, now I'm big. Now he just don't know what he should be doing. And I was speaking with him today and telling him, like, bro, you have to understand you must first get the mentality of the player. You can jump high enough, you got the size, you're big enough, you just have the mentality literally of a kitten. And you play in the post. That's where all the banging and the hitting and all of that happens the most, is when you're playing in the interior, in the post. So you got to have some kind of grit and grind that, you know what, I'm willing to go to fight every single day just for my career, for my job. That is part of it. I'm fighting every day, but that comes with a mentality. I told him straight up, I said, you have more weight than me. You're younger. You can jump. And I played in the post. I'm a 3-4 and I'm playing the 5. And I'm leading this country in points, and I'm top in rebounds. Our team is in first, second place. I came straight on into the league and showed my dominance. That's not because I'm this huge, big, super talented guy. No, that's the mentality that I've been able to build over the years and through my life, that I fortified my mind to. Is that mentality that I'm an underdog. Like, that underdog spirit lives in me heavy. Still to this day. Still to this day, I'd be like, nah, it ain't enough. Ain't enough. I'm like, I'm going to get it up and I'm going to run, and I'm going to go to the gym every single day and work out, and I'm going to hit the weights every single day, and I'm going to stretch, and I'm going to do all these things to try to constantly get better and better. I can retire right now, and 90% of my career, I can retire right now, and my career is better than 90% of players that ever touch the ball and play in the professional level. And that for me ain't enough, because I'm looking at how I can get better myself, how I can improve upon the things that I can improve upon to make me a better player. Yesterday is gone. Everything I've done in the past is gone. That doesn't matter anymore. That doesn't matter to me, because what is important is what I can accomplish today, and how can I improve today to get better for the next day or the next moment, each and every day. That is my mentality, to get better, to fight, to improve, to top my last best, whatever your best is, to get better than that, and to understand that it is a constant, never-ending journey of work to get to each level. Each level, you gotta let some things go. You gotta release some weights. You gotta take some things, leave some stuff behind in order to get to that next level. And I know it's very difficult for younger generational players to understand the sacrifices that you must have in order to improve, to play at another level. There's certain sacrifices you must improve in order to get your mind to a certain place. And this is why I come here and I speak and I created this whole network, is to help those generations, because it was something that I was missing when I was also that age. When I was a young guy coming up, no one told me that you need the mentality to be able to play professional. You need to have this overwhelming dog in you that I'm going to fight and I'm going to get it done. Thank God my environment growing up, I felt like I grew up in the right era, because we grew up in the era where we was outside. I was talking to one of my teammates, and we was talking about that. Like, bro, we grew up outside. No matter what, you're always outside. You're always playing. Like, we lived, even though I was not good, I lived on the court. Either you're playing on the outside court, you're playing in the gym, you're playing. My father bought me a basketball goal. I was playing on that goal outside until nighttime, wake up early in the morning, go play before school. Like, you were just active. And a lot of times nowadays, I know is a lot of kids are more passive. They're more are inside. I could see it because towards the later parts of my career in playing basketball, everybody's on 2K. Everybody's on Call of Duty, you know, And now that there are a lot of financial incentives to play these games and to stream and to be on that, which is nothing wrong with that, but it does take away from the mentality of being outside and working and playing and understanding what this, like, that's one thing, but to get to this level and sustain it for a long time, you have to be in a constant working and striving and growing mode, even at a young age. The ones who understand the sacrifice early for later are further ahead. And that's the question that you must ask yourself daily, is what exactly it is that you want out of this career that you so forth are seeking. How do you create the mentality in you to be not just a professional player, but just to be a dominant professional player in your own right? What is your game plan to get you to the next level of your improvement? It doesn't happen by accident. So I was talking to the young guy today. I gave him an example. I say, I come into the gym and I do 10 to 15 underneath the basket miking drills. Then I do 10 off the glass right hand, 10 off the glass left hand, 10 hooks right, 10 hooks left. Just like that. Before, in the first few minutes, I already made 50 shots. I've watched the ball go in the basket 50 times. What does that do for your confidence? What does that do for your game, watching the ball go in so many times, all the times, at a number of times? I'm getting reps up at a higher rate. The more reps you get, what does it say? Father time, repetition. What does it say? Learning, father time is the repetition of all learning. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the saying, but it's the reps that you get in that teaches you and develops you into that player that you need to be. Not just as a pro, but just as a better basketball player. I tell them, everybody's around the rim. It's the closest shot in the basket, in the game, and sometimes the hardest because no one works on the touch. You got to have the touch around the basket. You have to have that type of touch. And I just told them, just think about the numbers game. Life is a numbers game. If you come in a week and you make 1,000 shots this week and I've made 10,000, inevitably I'm going to be better than you because I've just got more reps up. I've got more data than you. My brain was able to process more times the ball going through the basket than you. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, he's a better shooter or it just got more reps up. I got more data of what to do when things go wrong and when things go right, how to adjust, how to pivot, how to change in order to be successful. We're not getting enough data before we're making our decisions and trying to make the decisions with minimal data and not understanding why things aren't working for me. Why are things not working for me, but I'm not taking the correct steps and I'm not accumulating the right data that can show me where I am making a mistake, where I am lacking in these areas. And that is something that I want to stress to the younger generation, to the guys that just are looking to pursue this career, to please put in the work first that is necessary to actually make a clear decision, make an adjustment the right way. Because if you're not doing enough work, how can you justify yourself to say, you know what, I'm able to do this, I'm able to play pro, I'm able to earn money for myself one day, I'm able to make a living for myself, and all I done today was make 50 shots? Because you got to think about it. When you go inside the gym and you have practice, most overseas practice, like right now, I got a perfect example. Right now, our team, we do not have the gym for ourselves. 90% of the time, somebody else is using the gym. We have our select hours. So when are you going to be able to get in and get your workout in? Very few times teams have the whole gym for themselves. Most of the time it be a club. So they have their own specific time that you use the gym. So you're going to have to find your ways to get your little extra work in. That's why I use the example, come in and I make quick 50 shots before we even started practice. Then I go into my little jump shots and my things that I do. But that's just because I have a routine down that I've been doing for years and years and years. And I say, you don't have to believe me. You can just look at the results. By doing this, this is the results. I'm shooting over 50% from the field. I'm leading the league in scoring. These things just don't happen by accident. They don't happen just by happenstance. They happen because I'm strategic in my preparation. I'm strategic in what I'm working on to help me improve. And I feel like that is where the disconnect is, where most guys just do not have a game plan to get better. A game plan to say, Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday I think this, Tuesday I think this. What are you thinking about towards the game that's going to change your mentality to be able to last in this game for a long time? What are your thoughts towards the game? What are the thoughts towards your actions that you are doing that will allow you to play the game on the pro level, at the next level, on the college level, be successful in any level? Because a lot of times, how you are as a person is going to be a reflection of how you are on the court. That's why we speak a lot on this platform about understanding your mind and strengthening your mind as well as your game. You have to understand that your mind controls everything. How you respond on the court, how you respond to being down 3 or 4 in the last minute, how you respond to a bad game, how you respond to 0 points, how you respond to somebody getting the best of you, how you respond to getting 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game because you're on the road or you're the best player and they're trying to get you out. How do you stay locked into that? These are the type of, there's so many mental situations that's going to happen along this journey. And it's so, speaking from the athlete, from just the basketball player's perspective, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be good because it's a cocky sport. We're very cocky individuals and we want to show how good we are. And we got this like bravo about us. You know, that it's like our charisma to be good, and we walk with a certain sense of style. Like every basketball player can tell by another basketball player strictly by the way that they just walk and carry themselves. They got the smooth little bounce to it. You know, you're suave. You got that little bounce to you. What are we doing to fortify our mind, to prepare yourself? How are you preparing yourself? What are the things you tell yourself? I told him straight up, I said, every single day I tell myself I'm a legendary basketball player. Every single day I tell myself that. The more you telling yourself, faith comes by hearing. So I need to hear it to believe it. And then I will go and put the work in. Because I'm hearing it so much, what happens is you start to do the things. You start to do the things that back up what you say about yourself. I say I'm a basketball player. So I go and train and practice basketball to make into reality the very thing that I say that I am. I am a legend. So I go and do the things that a legend should do to make that manifest. That is my personal words and stuff that I say to myself. That is my goals and my dreams. Everybody has to have them for themselves. What are the words that you say to yourself? And then what do you do to back that up? Because it also says faith without works is dead. So whatever the faith of the thing that you believe in, the work that you do behind it solidifies that. A lot of times people say, I'm this and I'm that. You will be able to tell by the work that a person puts in behind the very thing that they say they are striving to be and claim to be. So I say this to all the young guys. I say this to anyone that's listening, that's starting, that wants, that wants to play this game. You must first slow down. You must understand that you must get your mentality to a certain level first. You must get your body to a certain toughness level to be able to even withstand playing the game long enough to reap the benefits from the game. There's no way I'm a $190, 190 pounds, playing the center position, playing in my 10th year, leading the league in scoring and top in rebounds, and it's not even my natural position. Because I've already made up in my mind that it doesn't matter what it is, I'm going to be successful. You put me on the court, you put me anywhere. I've changed my mind to not be the person that I'm only successful in basketball. No, I'm successful in life. Once you understand that, once you become the person first, and you become the person that can become an overseas basketball. You become the person that can be a successful overseas basketball player. You become the person that could be a success in any endeavor that you take upon in life, whether that be in business, whether that be in any other sport, whether that be in starting a podcast. Whatever it is a mentality in your mind of the person that you are. Everybody wants to say I'm a overseas basketball, I'm a pro, but it's the person that you are because of the work that you must do. You have to be a certain type of person to do those things to make that manifest. And speaking of manifestation, if you guys want, you can go inside of the bio. I've put a free training video of exactly the steps that I've done and what you can do and start applying that have helped me win 7 championships in my professional career. This is how I manifested 7 championships. It's a free video. Go check that out. It will just show you and guide you and help you to understand the mentality and the things that you will start to do and will need to start applying so you can not only ascend and become a great player, but you understand the winning mindset. You understand the winning ways to be able to get the best out of this career. So I gave that's a free video for anybody. You want to go check it out. It's in the description. But moving on, is a few more questions that I've looked. These are hard-hitting questions. I looked up hard-hitting questions that most athletes struggle with. Let's go, man. First question. Adaptation challenge. How prepared are you to constantly adapt to new teams, cultures, playing styles, and often languages spoken in other countries? Now that's a lot. That was more than one question in one question. So we're going to break that down into just a few. I'm going to break that question down into a simpler question. How prepared are you to adapt? That's the emphasis of the question. How prepared are you to adapt? Now that's a good question. How do you adapt to every single situation? The real question is, what are the things that you are doing to be able to be the person that can adapt to every single situation? Because a certain type of person, it doesn't matter where you put them, they're going to be successful. It doesn't matter what sport they like. I remember hearing Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, say that one time. Like, he didn't care where he was at. He didn't care what sport it was, because he had the work ethic and he had the talent. So he was able to adapt to any situation because he understood the work ethic. And that is part of your adaptation. Your work ethic will allow you to be able to adapt to most situations. 90% of situations, or any ordeal, especially when it comes to the overseas life, because sometimes you're going to be in those very difficult spots where you just don't understand, like, should I stay here or should I go? Your ability to adapt, be a chameleon. If it's red over here, I'm turning red. If it's green over here, I'm turning green. I'm going with the flow, but I'm never changing who I am. Being able to adapt and grow is my essence. It is my being. I'm still the person. I'm just able to adapt to new situations. You're able to adapt to a coach who might like to yell. Then you're able to adapt to a coach who's a Zen master and likes to chill and doesn't like to practice. Sometimes you're going to be in situations where coaches like to practice 3 hours a day and then do weights after that. Some coaches might like to practice for 45 minutes and chill and laugh. These are the things, the adaptability to different situations, because a pro player's life is nothing but change at all times. You might be playing in Romania. I don't know what language they speak over there, but just for emphasis, someone said Romania the other day, so it brought it on my mind. Russia, China, Indonesia, Brazil, where they speak Portuguese. Then you go to Mexico. Then you might be in Qatar. You might be in Iraq. You go to so many different places, and you're just a nomad, just a traveling nomad all over the place. You're going to have to be a type of person that's able to adapt as an athlete. As a person, you're going to have to be able to adapt and adapt fast. Why? Because this situation isn't the norm. This isn't what I'm accustomed to. This is not the lifestyle that you've been accustomed to. And if you cannot understand that, you know what? Maybe I have to eat some hummus for a month to just get closer with my team, you know? Hummus is the little food that they eat over in, I believe it's in the Middle East a lot. They use that a lot. I don't know. Some weird kind of sauce. For example, over here they eat, their food in Chile is different from their food in various other countries. It's just being able to adapt in general. How do you become the person to adapt in general? You have to be that person. Keeping an open mind. Keeping a growth mind of always learning and trying to pick up little ways and pick up little things of the culture that may be different, or something that does not resonate with you, such as going to the barbecues, going out to lunch with some of the players, hanging out with some of the players, talking with the coach, having a sit-down conversation with the coach, and building a relationship, being able to adapt to, you know what, I'm used to living in a big house and all this and that, but now I got to stay in a hotel room for a whole season. Hey, that's the life. Hey, I was on a flight. My flight got canceled. I'm stuck in the airport. I just can't. Things are all going bad. That's the life. Certain things will happen in this life that your mindset must be able to adapt to the change and pivot when it's like, okay, this is not going the right way. What can I do to make the best or look for the right solution that can help me in this situation? That's just your mind, as a mindset, your mind changing to, okay, this is what I need to do to survive. It goes into a survival mindset to be able, okay, I've been in this position before. How can I now do something that can help me? I'm in a rough spot, but I'm not going to be closed-minded. What can I do? Asking yourself the question, what can I do to get the best out of this situation? Or how do I handle it? That is an adaptation mindset. You have to be open-minded. You have to be a mindset of growth at all the time, because if you're always looking for a way to grow and learn, that will help you pick up on what you actually need to do to be successful or to get you out of a sticky situation. Moving on, man. Are you ready to manage the financial instability and varied salary structures that come with playing in different countries? Are you ready to manage financial instability? That is a real hard-hitting question that should end the show right there. Are you ready for financial instability? No one ever asked me that question before, and I never even realized that was a problem. That is one of the truest, realest statements I've ever heard, or realest questions that I've understood in this game, is the financial instability that will inevitably happen if you do not understand how to manage your money as a professional player. I remember playing on one team a couple years ago, and the guy was like, yeah, man, he better not step on my shoes. We was out, and we were going out, and he was saying like somebody bumped him, and he's like, you better not step on my shoes. I'm like, bro, you're going to a bar or a club, and you're upset over somebody stepping on your shoes. And he was like, these shoes cost $800. I know the salary that he was making in that league, because I know the league. Yet this is the things that you spend your money. I am not here to judge and say what anybody should spend their money on. But 2 weeks later, not even, he was cut from that team. Now you go from having a job in the middle of a season at a certain point, and then when you get let go, there is a drop-off period where you don't get to play. You don't get to play until the next season coming up. That could be 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And for most athletes, basketball is their primarily their main source of income. This is my main source of income. It's being a professional basketball player. Hands down. It's my main source of income. Now what happens when you can't work for 6, 7 months? Because something happened, because something always will happen. You got family life, you got real life, you got your life back at home, you got bills, you got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you making good money, but you're also spending money like as if it would never run out. Because once you're getting your money tax-free, you're getting paid a decent amount that most players, like most people, have to work 40, 50, 60 hours to get. You're working 2 hours a day. Here I play maybe 2 hours. We practice 2 hours a day. We go waste maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and that's your day. I just woke up from a nap. I set my alarm for an hour and 20. I woke up and fell asleep for another hour. That was work. That's part of the work, resting. But the instability in the money, because you have that freedom, and the money, when the money comes, it seems like it was so easy. It's so easy to obtain, because you find yourself in a decent situation, you're getting paid decent money, you got all this freedom to do whatever you want, that you kind of just lose this sense of reality of the things that you should be focusing on. Of all the things that you should be focusing on. And the financial instability is something I wish somebody would have brought to my attention a long time ago as a rookie, as a guy in college. I wish they would have started teaching me financial instability since I was in college. Hey, if you want to play pro one day, high school. I am actively teaching my daughter about money management now at the age of 7 because I was not taught that in general. Just money management in general. And I see a lot of guys, even at the professional level, who those same money management inconsistencies still dwell in their lives today as a grown man, 34, 35, 30, still has the financial non-disciplines. Like, you don't have a discipline for when you're not in season. You don't know what to do with your money. You're just used to getting money and blowing it. Well, sometimes you might be off for a year. Do you have enough saved up that you can live without working for a year? There's not too many players that can say that. I'm going to say that honestly right now. There are not a lot of athletes that can just say that playing the professional life, that you can just say, I can take a year off and not worry about anything. Because I've just stacked up and I have my money saved and I've invested right and I put my money to the side and I live below my means and I don't make rash decisions just because I'm making this good money and I can always find a team because I'm a decent player. You don't never know what is going to happen. So that's why every moment that you have as a pro, as a player, is to be constructing yourself, to taking the knowledge and the time that you have to gain the knowledge to do the right things with your money, for instance. You don't just wake up and say, you know what, I can retire right now, I never have to work again. That's one of the things that you want to be able to start working on as a pro player. Because like I said before in previous episodes, there's so much the free time that they give you. This is why this whole network came into being, because I decided to take this free time and to build something. But one thing doesn't happen without the other. And I have had my very much, it happened to me a lot, just the instability of the finances when it came to this game. I believe the whole reason I even started this in the first place is because I had a cousin of mine I was speaking to, and he said, hey, you want to jump on the game and play some 2K or whatever? And I thought about it for a second. And I looked at my hands and I said, do you know how much money has passed through our hands in the time that we've been playing? How much money has went through our hands and we have nothing to show for it? And this is 8-9 years in the game. This is 7 championships later. This is, how much money has passed through your hands and you have nothing to show for it. And that was a click for me. But not a lot of people think like that. That's why I'm saying that now, the instability, because you never know when you're going to get hurt. You never know when family situation going to happen, your kids. So many things that can happen that your money is not guaranteed unless you find a place for it to be guaranteed and you're doing the right things with it. One season you could be all up and making a lot, and then you car crash, somebody gets sick. So many things that can happen to life be lifing. The financial instability, are you prepared for that? The financial instability. Moving on, next question. What personal relationships and comforts are you willing to sacrifice for your career? Maybe there's some people you need to let go. There are probably some people in your life right now. I believe we all have some people in our life right now that we know we got to let go, that we know we got to walk away from. There are some people that we know that we just need to... Listen, bro, you're my best friend. I know we've been through a lot. I know we've been through times where it feels like, You're the only person that ever had my back. But I have to walk away from you. Mom, brother, sister, hey, this moment in my life, I have to separate myself. I have to separate myself because this environment that I'm in is not allowing me to grow and to become that person that I need to be. I can't be the success that I'm striving to be because of the environment that I am currently in. So I'm going to have to make a decision and walk away. I'm going to have to let you go for maybe for a time. I may have to go wander and figure this thing out for a while. I may have to go and I have to go exclude myself from the family dinners, from the holidays, from the outings, the clubs, the hangouts, the 2Ks, playing all day. There's some things I might have to let go in order to achieve the goal that I want. My family used to tell me, nah, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And I always find it ironic. It's like a lot of you are telling me the things that I should do in the path that you've never walked. None of you have walked this path. You haven't went through these doubts. You haven't went through these struggles. Not saying that everybody don't have their own struggles and the things that they go through. But these struggles when it comes to being a pro basketball player, that road, those doubts, those you're not good enough, those you can't shoot, those you can't dribble, those days where it seems like the minute you touch the ball, it looks like you're a 3-year-old and you've never played basketball a day in your life. Sometimes you're going to have to let go some of those things and go through that to get to the place that you're wanting to get to in this career, in this life. So who or what are the things that you must let go? What are those personal sacrifices? And you know what the thing is? We all know what they are or who they are. It's the first thought that comes to our mind that we know. Every single time I think about something I should do to just improve, I don't have to think about it long. I don't even have to think about it long because I already know what it is. And we know what it is. We just ignore it. We just act like it ain't a big deal. We just act like we can just keep it pushing like it ain't. No. I believe I heard a quote on Instagram. It's like, the work that you're looking for is in the ones that you avoid. I am terrible at reciting sayings. It sounds good in my brain, but when I try to say it, it don't click like the way I want it to click. When I hear it, I'm like, that's the saying. I need to say that so they can hear that. But when I go to say it, it don't come out right. It never comes out the way I want it to be said. The things that you don't want to do, that's normally in the areas of the work that you should be putting in. It's normally avoiding the people that you know that you should be avoiding. It's normally the sacrifices of the things that you should be doing in order to get better. And a lot of times, we ignore those because it's comfortable. It is comfortable. It feels good. Do we really want to put in all that work? Do you understand the work and the people that you must let go in order to be great? In order to be good? In order to outlast the next person that's fighting just as hard as you to get a chance, get an opportunity? There are some sacrifices that we all must let go. Like me right now, I know I got to cut back on all the sweets and all that kind of stuff and the junk food. I'm not saying no one is above anyone. We all got our vices, but we all must understand. I can't sit up here and talk about, oh, I do everything right. That is a lie, and I will never, you ain't going to hear me say nothing like that. The only reason I can say something about letting go and sacrificing certain things is because I am also doing those things. I'm living it. That's why I can speak with so much conviction on it. Like giving up food, not food, but giving up meat products, becoming a vegan, not eating meat and processed food, those type of food, or not even processed, because everything seems to be processed, especially in America, but just giving up meat, fish, living a cleaner lifestyle and cutting that part out of my diet, changing the way my diet. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be playing it to the level that I'm playing right now, because my body would not have been able to keep up with me. I had a lot of knee issues with my knee and all those issues that I had. It was just been too difficult to continuously playing. The 1 year that I gave it a chance to be playing, my knee used to swell up so much. I'm talking about it used to swell up like a golf ball. Not even a golf ball, like a tennis ball. It just gets so big. And the doctor would just come over and he would just drain my knee. 2-3 needles just drain my knee of this fluid, of just so much fluid. And it was just so much inflammation in my knee at all times. And I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to play this game any much longer with my knee like this. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen because I'm in too much pain. Some days I can't walk. I used to just be like, I work out, it would get better for a little bit, and then all the information come back, and I'm like, just dealing with that stress alone. I'm like, my mind can't take this. My mind can't just keep getting a little bit better and taking 5 steps back. Playing good and feeling good one day, and then 2 weeks feeling bad because my knee is the size of a bowling ball. Then I gotta go to the doctor, and I'm taking these shots and I'm getting these injections. Tired of it. I gave something up. I gave up meat, fish. I gave up eggs for a while, just all the products. That was over 2 years ago. Since then, I have not had my knee swelled up like that ever again, with that type of inflammation in the fluid ever again. I gave something up. What are you going to sacrifice to get to where you need to get to? Listen, that's all I have for this episode, this segment, man. It's just some few hard-hitting questions that we must ask ourselves and really understand for ourselves. These are just some questions that I see when I'm interacting in my everyday, when I'm talking with athletes that want to get to the pro level, when I'm communicating with friends, when I'm talking with my coaches or my family members, because a lot of these questions are all about the person that we are first. We could talk about being a pro, we could talk about making it and winning and doing all this, but it all starts first with the person that you decide to become. The sacrifices that you're willing to take, the work that you're able to do, the constant changing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You changing your mind into the thing and saying the things and becoming the person that you so desire to be. Changing your mind to do the work that is necessary to become the person that allows you to achieve the success that you seek. It all starts with the internal person. It all starts with your sacrifices to yourself. It all starts with looking yourself in the eye and making a definite decision of what it is in this life that you are searching and striving to become. It's more than just becoming a pro player. It's more of becoming the best version of yourself in the areas that you are seeking for. If you want to be the best pro player, if you want to be the best coach, if you want to be the best individual for yourself, What are the steps that you are willing to take, the sacrifices, the work, the belief that you must have in yourself in order to make these things happen for you? That's all I have for this segment in this episode of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. Remember, I have a free training video in the bio. Make sure y'all pick up my book, 6 Must-Have Traits to Become an Overseas Basketball Player. It'll get you started on your pro journey. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. That's all I got for this episode. Till next time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.